little numbers, and we give a shout out to Sao Paulo.
So wow, Brazil.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
Have you been to Sao Paulo? Or
I was in the Sao Paulo airport. I went to Rio.
For Carnival, right?
For Carnival. Whoever's listening in Sao Paulo, I would love some pictures because I know y'all just had Carnival. So send us some pictures.
You're missing it? Wishing you were there? Yeah.
Yes.
I can imagine. I'd love to. One of my dream vacations was actually would have liked to drive from Houston down to Rio for Carnival. One of the things I didn't realize is you can't get between Panama and Colombia. There's a dense rainforest, speaking of rainforest, that is impassable. So you would have to take your vehicle. Well, maybe there's some way to get on an old Range Rover in 6 months and 8 tires and, and
get through there.
4 winches later, the mechanical ones, not the female ones. Because those are available in Rio.
I was thinking that.
So that dream vacation is over. But Carnival would be a blast. So Sao Paulo, thank you for listening. And you know what? Why don't you get on, submit some information, send us an email, let us know who you are, and we can give you some link love. All right, so this is a good. You want to take care of this one?
Sure. Our main man Robert sent us an email, who was actually recommended by our main man Darren Bowie. Darren recommended to the podcast. He's been listening. He says he's been working. He's been improving his site, and he says for his website, acrylic-splashbacks.com. And if you're wondering, splashbacks means backsplash. Well, that's what we call it here in the States, backsplash. Or maybe I'm just wrong. He said, all right, for our keywords, acrylic splashbacks. Number 1, we are first listing, first page of Bing. Congratulations. Number 2, we're on the first page of Yahoo, 4th, 5th, and 7th listing. Congratulations again. Number 3, we're on the second page of Google, but have links to our website on the first page. So,
awesome.
Wow.
Good job.
That is awesome.
So how do you learn how to do that?
It says probably worth mentioning. This company is less than 12 months old, and I've done this from basically listening to your podcast and working with Darren Bowie, who's also a podcast.
So hold on. So he listened to our podcast, got on the first listing on the first page of Bing, first page of Yahoo, 4, 5, and 7th listing, and he's on the second page but has links on the first page of Google from listening to our podcast.
Yes.
Wow. That is awesome.
I think that's really awesome.
That is really awesome.
And thanks for that. Thanks, Darren, and thanks, Robert. That's Robert at acrylic-splashbacks.com. And Robert, I'm sorry, man. If I have it wrong and it really is splashbacks, please correct me, because I've always heard it as backsplash.
I think it's backsplash, and and by the way, if you're not aware, that's the thing that goes behind the sink so that it doesn't splash on the sink, and usually in a kitchen, maybe a bathroom or whatever. Now he does ask a question about Google Analytics. It says, I'm going to read this. All of our subpages are showing the same number of visitors and time on the site. Add new profile to, he puts in parentheses, add new profile to domain, enter subpages, for example, aboutus.html, then install the code. And he's just getting the same results. I frankly don't understand exactly what you're doing, but I went to your website and I looked at your Google Analytics number, and you've got your Google Analytics number and then a -13 on our About Us page and a -2 on your index page. That dash for us we use for totally different domains. So it's the same main account and totally different domain. So patrickwanis.com is something that we follow in the same account, and it's got a -5. And every page on patrickwanis.com has a -5. In eWebStyle, it's, let's say a -2. Every page in eWebStyle has a -2. So I know that Darren had asked this question earlier. All of your pages on your site should have the exact same account information. Google knows what page it's visiting and what page is actually being viewed. So I would make that change and see if that fixes your problem. And if it doesn't, then hit us back, let us know what's going on. I can kind of glance at your website and we'll figure out what's going on there. Now this is also cool. He's got a PS. Why don't you do your show why don't you do 2 shows a week, one with new stuff and the other with user requests, interviews, and problems? I mean, what a compliment. They just want us to do more. They want more information. Thank you so much for that compliment. We're definitely going to take that into consideration. A lot of effort goes into the podcast, so It isn't exactly a revenue generating thing.
But as soon as we get Google to sponsor us, you got it.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, all podcast all the time.
There you go.
Google sponsors us.
That'll work.
He did ask if we're still running the free SEO evaluation.
Yes, we are, except for you. No, send me a request and we'll definitely get it back to you.
That's not right.
Sorry, Rob.
Everything in the U.S. All right, so we had a question today, this week that came in, and I forget, somebody called and was asking about, I think actually our web designer, Javier. Say hello over there, Javier.
Hello.
He came and he asked, he said, there's how do we get malware? How do we get Google, so a website that he was working with had malware on it, and he's like, okay, well, how do I, Google is saying it's got malware. In fact, what Google does is, if your site, and this happened to us when we got a website Start Smart as a client, and they were, I don't know, their CMS, the host
just kept getting
the host was hosed.
Yeah, there you go.
And so, we're trying to mitigate it. We're trying to get everything off of there, and we're also trying. Now they're hosting with us, and what happens is when you show up in a search result, Google actually puts this line. It says this site may harm your computer. Generally, not good for getting traffic.
Most people aren't going to go there. I won't go there unless I absolutely know your site is good. So I think that's going to turn a lot of people away.
Yeah, that's bad. I think in general we don't go for that. Yeah. Okay, we agree.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And then even worse, if you do click it before you actually get to the website, Google puts a warning. Warning: visiting this website may harm your computer. Suggestions: return to the previous page. Try another search. Again, not a best practice. So how do you get it so that Google we know that Google is going to index it again, and it probably, if the malware is removed, some months from here, Google will unremove all this malware shenanigans. What if you want it done quicker? And you probably do. You need to go into Webmaster Tools. Inside Webmaster Tools, there's an option for, it'll tell you pretty much right away. When we were working with Start Smart, I remember it was like plastered right there, and then you'd click a couple buttons, and it said, on the Webmaster Tool page, select the site you want. In the parts of this site may be distributing malware message, so there's a message there. Click for more details, and then click Request a Review. And then Google will pretty shortly thereafter review your website, and they'll turn it back live, or if they find more malware, they'll leave it in a bad way.
That's cool. We should actually send this to. I think the Brazilian embassy here in the States has that on their website.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I was working with one of our clients and pulling information off that site. Man, I wish I knew it off the top of my head, but it's a site where you go and you fill out the online application for a Brazilian visa. And it says on the embassy website, it says, click this. Don't worry, it's not contaminated. It's a safe site. That was on the embassy website.
So they put it on their
It's like a link from the embassy website to get to their online application, and they put it on there. Don't worry, it's a safe site. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, I was like, wow. Y'all need to listen to our podcast. The whole country.
That is a Brazilian solution, right? Kind of a third world solution. Hey, we're not going to worry about the actual warning. We're just going to tell them to ignore the warning.
Just ignore the warning. So yeah, I just saw that this week. I thought it was pretty interesting. But yeah, I'll find it. Maybe I'll put it on the next podcast if they haven't listened.
No explosives allowed.
Yeah.
Except here.